2025 is almost over. Let's talk about the books I'll be reading before the end of this year. Hi, welcome. My name is Aana-Ther, and I really love reading, mostly fantasy, horror, and romance. And I just recently decided to start making videos about it. So if you're someone who loves reading as much as I do, or just want to get some new book recommendations, why not subscribe? This year was full of some major ups and downs for me, and honestly, when I think about it, I'm kind of happy that 2025 is going to be done soon. I'm so ready for 2026 to start. I just have this feeling it's going to be a really good year. One of the upsides this year was definitely the number of books I was able to buy. I think I bought more books this year than any year before. And that probably wasn't the best idea because I still have more than half of my physical TBR unread. So, what I did, as anyone would do, is I created a spreadsheet of all the books that I own and calculated how many of those books I haven't read. In total, I have 313 books in my physical TBR. Of those 313 books, 164 of them are unread. I have 52% unread and 48% read. And this doesn't even include the books that I bought in the last quarter of the year. So the idea is I'm going to use this spreadsheet to determine what books I'm going to read this month. I'm going to use a random number generator to generate a number that corresponds to the row in the spreadsheet. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, or if any of these books are books that are on your TBR. I always love seeing what other people are reading. I know you guys don't want to listen to me ramble, so let's just get right into the books. The first book I'll be reading in December is The Mystery of the Yellow Room by Gaston Leroux. This is by the same author that wrote The Phantom of the Opera, but this is supposed to be a locked room mystery. It follows a detective named Joseph Rouletabille, I think is how you pronounce it. Actually, technically he's not a detective. I think he is a journalist or a reporter, but he kind of gives off this like Sherlock Holmes vibe. Like someone who's not employed as a detective but is very observant and very smart and can usually see things that other people can't. And he kind of just involves himself in the investigation of an attempted murder. But the weird part is the victim was in a room that was locked from the inside and there was no way the guy could have escaped without anyone noticing. It is a relatively short book, but it is written in an older style of English, so it may take me longer to read than some of the other books on this list. I haven't read a lot of lockroom mysteries, so I am very curious to see how I feel about this book. I'm so excited that I got this book. It is A Man Called Ove by Fredrik Backman. This will be my second This will be my second Fredrik. Wow. I'm trying to talk faster, and I feel like I can't talk at all. This is my second book by Fredrik Backman. There we go, we got it. And now I forgot what I was going to say. This follows a grumpy old man who kind of he hates everything and everyone. He hates his neighborhood and his neighborhood hates him back. And then one day, a family with two young daughters moves into the house right next to his. And I think he sort of forms some friendships with this family and it kind of changes how he sees the world. I expect that this book is going to make me laugh like Anxious People did, and I'm expecting it to make me cry as well. I've been wanting to read more of Fredrik Backman's books, and I've had this on my shelf for the longest time, so I'm really glad that I'm finally getting to it. The next book that I'll be reading in December is another book that I have been wanting to read for the longest time. Pretty much since the moment I heard that it was coming out, I've been wanting to read this. It's Clytemnestra by Castanza Casati. I'm really loving all of these retellings of classic Greek stories, but told from the perspective of the female. I really love Circe by Madeline Miller, and I have a feeling that I'm going to love this book as well. I mean, I kind of love anything that's related to Greek mythology, especially when it focuses on the women of Greek mythology, because the women in these stories are usually put into a really bad light. I mean, it even says it on the back of the book. As for queens, they are either hated or forgotten. I can't wait to see the author's take on Clytemnestra and her vengeance against her husband. The next two books I'm reading in December are part of a readathon that I'm participating in this month. First is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. This is my first book by this author. I never read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I deeply regret that because I've heard so many good things about that book as well as this one. I believe that this was nominated for a Goodreads Choice Award this year for the romantasy category. This is a cozy fantasy as well as a romance. It follows a witch, Sarah Swan, who used to be really powerful until shit happens and she loses her magic and she ends up helping her aunt run an inn. But it turns out that there could be a way for her to regain her magic. So she enlists the help of a very handsome magical historian who just might know a way to help her. It does kind of read to me like a grumpy sunshine romance. It's not actually clear if Sarah gives off golden retriever energy, but it definitely seems like Luke has like black cat energy though. The second book I'm reading for the readathon this month is Winterwood by Shea Ernshaw. Look at this cover. It is so gorgeous. This is a sort of witchy young adult fantasy. There's a girl named Nora. Her family seems to have some sort of magical connection to the woods near their home. She ends up finding a boy in the woods, Oliver, who went missing from a camp for wayward boys a few weeks ago, and everyone kind of assumed that he was dead. And he has no memory of the time that he was missing. I think there's a little bit of like a romance that happens between them, but then there's going to be some kind of conflict. Oliver is keeping secrets. Nora decides to investigate Oliver's story and whatever is going on in the woods. The next book that I plan on reading in December is actually a buddy read with my best friend. She's also the only friend that I have that loves to read as much as I do. The book that we plan on reading for our buddy read is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. We actually both bought the same copy, so we both have this amazing cover. Just love the whole gothic look of it. The book follows a man, Lockwood, who just rented out a house, Thrushcross Grange. One night he's forced to take shelter in his landlord Heathcliff's home, and while Lockwood is there, he learns all about the drama that happened between Heathcliff and this woman, Catherine. Catherine was a daughter of a wealthy landowning family, while Heathcliff was kind of like a foster son or ward to this family, and his upbringing is unknown, so he's considered to have poor breeding. Saying breeding sounds weird. I feel like I'm talking about like show dogs or like horses or something. But the class system and the importance that was put on bloodlines is a big theme in this book. I think this book is going to take me a little bit longer than some of the other books on this list, just because it is written in like a Victorian era English. Version in particular does claim to be as close to the original as possible. So good luck to me. So that's it for my December TBR. I feel like a good number of these books are books that I have been wanting to read for a really long time. I am expecting things to change because inevitably they always do. I'm just hoping that I can get to at least most of these books in the month of December, and hopefully I don't have another month like last month where I only read one book. I don't have a November wrap up, but if you're curious to know what I read in October, I'll add a little card thing up there in the top right corner. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.